Leg cramps. Not the little twitch you can shake off. The kind that locks your calf at 2 in the morning so hard you can't move your foot. And that drink sitting on your nightstand right now, the one you thought was helping, might be the reason it happened again last night. Because after 60, night leg cramps don't work the way you were told. They're not random. They're not just aging. And they are definitely not fixed by whatever someone once told you to sip before bed. There are 3 bedtime drinks that research actually connects to relief. 3. And the difference between the one that works for your body and the one that quietly fails you comes down to something almost no one explains to seniors. Not your doctor, not the label, not the ad you saw online. Here's what most people over 60 have been told. Drink more water. Maybe grab a banana. Maybe pour a glass of warm milk. Sounds reasonable. However, a 2012 review published in American Family Physician found that nocturnal leg cramps have not been reliably associated with simple dehydration or basic electrolyte levels measured by standard blood tests. Plain water, on its own, does not address the real problem. And that banana you've been trusting? It gives you potassium, sure. But potassium alone, without the right mineral partners, without the right timing, without understanding what your medications might be draining from your body every single day, that is not a fix. That is a guess. And that guess is the real enemy here. It's not that anyone lied to you. It's that the advice most seniors received about hydration and night cramps was built for a younger body. A body that absorbs minerals differently. A body that isn't on a blood pressure pill or an acid reflux medication that quietly pulls magnesium out through the kidneys or blocks it in the gut. After 60, everything changes, and most people aren't told why. Now, I need to say something before we go any further. This is for educational purposes only. Always discuss changes with your own doctor. That matters here more than most topics, because what I'm about to walk you through involves minerals that interact with kidneys, with medications, and with conditions you may already be managing. I'm not prescribing anything. I'm showing you what the research actually says, and what I'd tell my own family if they were sitting where you are right now. My name is Dr. David Collin, and if you stay with me for the next few minutes, you're going to understand exactly why your night leg cramps keep returning and which bedtime drink actually matches the mineral problem your body is dealing with. Not a trendy recipe, not a supplement ad, a framework, one that starts tonight. Let me show you what's actually happening inside your calf at 3 in the morning. Because once you see this, the drink question answers itself. Your muscles work on a simple electrical system. Minerals carry the charge. Calcium tells the muscle to contract. Magnesium tells it to release. Potassium helps regulate the nerve signal that starts the whole thing. Sodium helps carry the message across the cell wall. For minerals, one system. And when they're in balance, your muscle fires and then lets go. Clean. Easy. You don't even feel it. But when one of those minerals is low, or when the balance between them shifts, the release signal gets weak. The muscle contracts and stays contracted. That's not a cramp from exercise. That's not a cramp from walking too much. That's a cramp from a mineral circuit that didn't complete. And it happened while you were asleep because that's when your body's mineral levels dip the lowest. You haven't eaten in hours. You haven't had any fluid. And if you spent the day on a medication that drains magnesium or potassium without replacing it, by 2 in the morning, your calf has nothing left to work with. Think of it like a light switch. Calcium flips it on. Magnesium flips it off. But if the magnesium side of that switch is worn down, the light stays on. The muscle stays locked. That's your cramp. That is what is waking you up. And here's where it gets worse. After 60, 3 things happen at the same time. First, your body absorbs less magnesium from food. The gut gets less efficient. That's normal aging, but nobody warns you. Second, your kidneys release more magnesium than they used to. Even healthy kidneys. Just a natural shift. And third, and this is the one that changes everything, the medications that millions of seniors take every single day accelerate that loss. The FDA issued a safety communication stating that proton pump inhibitors, that's your omeprazole, your pantoprazole, the acid reflux pills many seniors take daily, can cause low magnesium levels when taken long-term. And a 2021 review in the journal Frontiers in Medicine confirmed that thiazide and loop diuretics, the blood pressure pills, cause magnesium loss through the kidneys. So you've got less coming in. We're going out. And a medication pulling the drain open wider. That's not dehydration. That's a mineral deficit with a specific cause. And no glass of plain water on your nightstand is going to close that gap. Most seniors never connect this to that. Today you will. Now, let's talk about the third-ranked bedtime drink. The one that helps a specific group of seniors and quietly disappoints another group entirely. This is drink number 3, a small glass of low-sugar kefir or a simple milk-based bedtime drink. Not a tall glass, not a full cup, a modest 4 to 6 ounce serving, sipped an hour or more before you actually get into bed. Why does this one make the list? Because for seniors whose night cramps are connected to low calcium intake during the day, and that's more common than you'd think, this drink fills a specific gap. According to USDA Food Data Central, a single cup of plain kefir provides roughly 300 to 350 milligrams of calcium, plus a meaningful amount of potassium and a small amount of magnesium. That calcium matters because it's 1/2 of the contraction relaxation switch I just described. If your calcium is chronically low from skipping meals, eating light dinners, or avoiding dairy, your muscle's signaling system is already unstable by bedtime. But here's the part nobody tells you. This drink works best for a very specific pattern. You skipped a real dinner. You ate light all day. You didn't get much dairy or calcium-rich food. And now your calf is contracting against a calcium deficit overnight. For that person, kefir or a small milk-based drink before bed gives the system what it was missing. For a different person, someone whose cramp pattern is driven by magnesium loss from medication or by potassium imbalance from a diuretic, this drink barely touches the real problem. It's not wrong. It's just incomplete. And that's the trap. A senior tries warm milk before bed. It doesn't stop the cramps, and they assume nothing works. The drink wasn't bad. It was aimed at the wrong mineral. So why do so many seniors keep doing the exact thing that fails them? Because nobody separated the mineral patterns. Nobody said, this drink is for this problem. That drink is for that one. It was always just, drink something healthy. Go to bed. Hope it helps. And that brings us to drink number 2. This is where the story gets more interesting and more dangerous if you get it wrong. Drink number 2, a small serving of diluted coconut water or a low-sugar electrolyte-style drink, sipped early in the evening, not at the bedside, not right before sleep. Here's why this one matters. Coconut water is one of the most potassium-dense beverages you can find. According to USDA data, 1 cup of unsweetened coconut water contains roughly 400 to 600 milligrams of potassium, more than a banana in a single glass. It also carries a small amount of magnesium, some sodium, and natural sugars. For a senior whose cramps are driven by potassium loss, and that includes many people taking thiazide diuretics or certain blood pressure medications, this drink targets the exact mineral that's being pulled out of the system during the day. And because potassium works alongside magnesium to stabilize the nerve signals that control your calf muscle, restoring it in the evening can quiet the electrical instability that leads to a 2 a.m. spasm. But this is where I have to slow down, because this drink is also the most misused one on the list. And misusing it can create a problem worse than cramps. First, volume. A full tall glass of coconut water before bed means a full bladder by midnight. You get up. You walk to the bathroom half asleep. Your muscles are cold. Your balance is off. And now you've traded a cramp for a fall risk. That matters more after 60 than most people realize. The right move is a small glass, 4 to 6 ounces, and not right before lying down. Give your body time to process the fluid before sleep. Second, and this is where it gets serious, potassium is not a mineral you can casually load up on. The National Kidney Foundation warns that people with chronic kidney disease, or those taking ACE inhibitors, ARBs, or spironolactone, need to be very careful with potassium-rich drinks. These medications reduce the kidney's ability to clear excess potassium from the blood. Add a big glass of coconut water on top of that, and you're pushing potassium levels into a range that can affect the heart. Not theoretically, clinically. So drink number 2 is powerful, but conditional. It fits seniors whose cramps point toward potassium loss, whose kidneys are functioning well, and whose medications don't block potassium clearance. For everyone else, this drink needs a doctor's nod before it becomes a nightly habit. Your doctor never told you this, but I will. And that leaves the question you've been waiting for. What is drink number 1? What is the bedtime drink that targets the mineral most commonly missing in seniors with nightly cramps? I'll get to that in a moment. But first, I need you to understand something about that number 1 drink that changes everything about how you use it. Because most seniors who have tried a magnesium drink before bed and found it didn't work, they didn't fail. The drink failed them. And the reason it failed has almost nothing to do with magnesium itself. Here's what I mean. A 2017 trial published in JAMA Internal Medicine tested magnesium oxide supplements on older adults with nocturnal leg cramps. The result? Magnesium oxide was not significantly better than placebo. That study made headlines. It made some doctors say, magnesium doesn't help cramps. Case closed. But that conclusion missed the point entirely. Magnesium oxide is one of the cheapest, most common forms of magnesium on the market. It's in most of the supplements you see at the drugstore, and it has one of the lowest absorption rates of any magnesium form. Your gut barely takes it in. So testing magnesium oxide and concluding that magnesium doesn't help night cramps is like testing a car with no gas and concluding that engines don't work. The form matters. The timing matters. Whether your body can actually absorb it, that matters. And nobody separated those variables for you. Until now. I want you to drop a letter in the comments right now. If you still believe plain water before bed is the best way to prevent night leg cramps, drop the letter A. If you believe the smarter move is a mineral-based bedtime drink matched to what your body is actually missing, drop the letter B. I read every single comment personally. Now here's the part I've been building toward. And I need your full attention for this. Because what I'm about to explain is the piece that separates the seniors who get relief from the ones who keep waking up in pain. Everything I just told you is real. And it matters. But there is something that changes all of it, something almost no one talks about. And once you understand it, you will never look at your bedtime drink the same way again. The twist is this. The problem for most seniors with night leg cramps isn't that they're not taking magnesium. It's that their body cannot use the magnesium they're giving it. The delivery is broken. And there are 3 reasons why. Reason 1, the form. I already mentioned magnesium oxide, low absorption. But there are other forms. Magnesium glycinate, magnesium citrate, magnesium threonate, and each one enters your body through a different pathway, at a different speed, with a different efficiency. A Cochrane review on magnesium and muscle cramps noted that the evidence is mixed overall, but it also acknowledged that most trials tested oxide or unspecified forms. The question was never really whether magnesium helps muscles. The question is whether the form you're taking can actually reach the muscle. Reason 2. Your medication is working against you. If you're taking a proton pump inhibitor for acid reflux, the FDA has confirmed that long-term use can lower magnesium levels by blocking absorption in the gut. So you dissolve a magnesium drink. You swallow it. It hits your stomach. And the very medication you take every morning reduces how much of that magnesium gets through. You're pouring water into a bucket with a hole in it. The drink isn't failing. The absorption pathway is compromised. Reason 3. And this is the one that surprises people the most. Magnesium doesn't work alone. It works inside a system. If your potassium is also low, magnesium can't do its full job. If your calcium is off, the contraction signal never stabilizes. The National Academy of Medicine sets recommended intakes for these minerals not as isolated targets, but as part of an interconnected electrolyte framework. One mineral missing can make another mineral useless, even if you're getting plenty of it. So the twist is not that magnesium drinks don't work. The twist is that they only work when the delivery system is intact. Right form, right timing, right mineral context. And for most seniors, at least one of those 3 is broken and nobody ever checked. I'm telling you this because nobody else in this space will. Most magnesium content you find online will tell you to buy a supplement and take it before bed. I'm telling you it's not that simple. And if you've tried it and it didn't work, you were not wrong. You were given an incomplete answer. Most seniors never get this far. They manage one piece of the puzzle, but they miss the delivery problem, the form, the medication interference, the mineral context, and that gap is exactly what keeps the cramps returning. Night after night, week after week. So let me give you what you came here for. The full answer, starting with drink number 1, and exactly how to use it so it actually has a chance to work. Drink number 1 is a bedtime magnesium drink made with a well-absorbed form of magnesium, not magnesium oxide, a form your gut can actually take in. The 2 that research and clinical practice suggest are better tolerated and better absorbed for most people are magnesium glycinate and magnesium citrate. Glycinate tends to be gentler on the stomach. Citrate absorbs reasonably well, but can have a mild laxative effect in some people. Either one, dissolved in a small amount of warm water, sipped 60 to 90 minutes before bed. Why does this work when plain magnesium pills so often don't? Because a liquid form hits the gut lining directly. The absorption begins faster. And when you take it in the evening, when your body's mineral levels are already starting to dip toward their overnight low, you're filling the gap at the exact moment it matters most. Not in the morning when levels are still reasonable. At night, when the cramp is coming. But here's where the framework locks into place. This drink is most effective for the senior whose cramp pattern points to magnesium as the primary missing piece. You're on a PPI or a diuretic. You eat lighter than you used to. You don't get much magnesium from food anymore. You've had cramps that feel deep, that lock the entire calf, that last for minutes. That pattern suggests magnesium, and this drink targets it directly if the form is right. For the senior whose pattern points more to potassium, cramps that come with muscle weakness, that show up after heavy sweating or diuretic use, that hit the feet as much as the calves. Drink number 2, the diluted coconut water or electrolyte drink earlier in the evening, is likely the better match. And for the senior who simply isn't eating enough during the day, light meals, skipped dinners, not much calcium at all, drink number 3, the small kefir or milk-based option, fills that foundation. So to be clear, the right bedtime drink for night leg cramps is the one that matches your mineral pattern, not the one with the best marketing, not the one your neighbor swears by, the one that replaces what your body is actually losing. That is it. This is not age. This is something your body is doing, and we can fix it. Now let me give you the framework you can take with you tonight. Step 1, identify the pattern. Are you on medications that drain magnesium or potassium? Are you eating enough mineral-rich food during the day? Are your cramps deep and sustained, or short and twitchy? The pattern points to the mineral points to the drink. Step 2, keep the bedtime volume modest. 4 to 6 ounces. Not a full glass. Not a tall pour. Your bladder matters as much as your muscles after 60. A drink that wakes you up to use the bathroom 3 times defeats the entire purpose. Sip it 60 to 90 minutes before bed. Give your body time. Step 3, if you're choosing a magnesium drink, check the form. Look at the label. If it says magnesium oxide and nothing else, that's likely the form your gut will absorb the least. Look for glycinate or citrate. And if you're on a proton pump inhibitor, understand that your absorption may still be reduced, which is a conversation to bring to your doctor. Step 4, if you're choosing a potassium-rich drink like coconut water, check with your doctor first if you have any kidney concerns, if you take ACE inhibitors, ARBs, or spironolactone, or if you've ever been told your potassium runs high. The National Kidney Foundation is clear on this. Potassium management in kidney disease is not optional. It's essential. And here's something most people skip. Track what works. Try one drink for 5 to 7 nights. Note the cramps. Note the sleep. Note the bathroom trips. Then adjust. This isn't a one-night miracle. It's a system. Match the drink to the mineral. Match the mineral to the pattern. Give it time. And watch what changes. Data from NANS analyzed in a 2018 study in the journal Nutrients found that over 83% of Americans 65 and older are not meeting the recommended daily intake for magnesium. 83%. That means if you're watching this and you're over 65, the odds are strong that your magnesium intake is already lower than it should be. And if you're also on a medication that drains it further, you're compounding a gap that was already there. That number tells you something. This is not a rare problem. This is a silent, widespread pattern. And the fact that most seniors have never heard this explained in plain language, that's the failure. Not yours. The system's. The right bedtime drink is the one that fits the mineral problem, not the one with the best reputation. That is your takeaway. That is what you act on tonight. Most seniors never connect this to that. Today you did. But now that you know which bedtime drink may help night leg cramps, there's another problem most seniors never connect to this. Your body may be losing those minerals before your muscles can ever use them. The drain doesn't stop at night. It runs all day. And unless you understand where the loss is happening and why, even the best bedtime drink becomes a temporary patch on a permanent leak. I cover exactly that in the next video. Watch it now.